My name is Delane Thomas. I am a student at The Ohio State University studying public health. I met Kayode autumn 2017 on my very first day at Ohio State. I was at a bus stop. I was lost, and I'm pretty sure he was as well. And we got on the same bus together to go to our very first event as students. I've really seen Kayode grow in his trust for God. God's taking care of his family back at home. God is taking care of Kayode here. I'm really excited to see Kayode's future. I know that he's going to be a great professor one day, and most of all, a great witness to the character and love of Christ here in this city, in any other city that he goes to. Kayode, I've been practicing this in your language. Ore, otito, Oluwa ama reng lowo.
Good evening, everyone. It is my pleasure to be here this evening to share with you my story, a story of how I found love, community, and belonging through IFI. In the months leading up to my trip to Columbus to begin graduate school at The Ohio State University, my wife, who was then my fiancée, and I had one key prayer point, that God would bring me in contact with Christian friends. I desired meaningful friendships through which I could fellowship and find spiritual encouragement. Before I started grad school at OSU, I had lived in New York for about 10 months. And never in my life had I felt so invisible, so unacknowledged, so unknown as I felt in New York. It was hard to make friends. People were so engrossed in their daily lives, and nobody saw me. Nobody had time for me. This was extremely hard because not only do I have many friends back home in Nigeria, I also deeply appreciate meaningful friendships. I hoped and tried to find a space that would accept me, a space to which I could feel a sense of belonging, but I didn't find any, not even in church. And that was why coming to Columbus, it was a great desire for me that I would find and make meaningful relationships. Indeed, today, I can confidently say that God has been faithful in fulfilling that desire. First day on campus, I met Delane Thomas, who introduced me. And also thanks to IFI, I have the blessing called Rich Mendola. Rich has been a great blessing to me in many ways. He and I meet regularly, once in a week, as much as our schedules allow. And we talk about important issues, my faith, my academic work, my family, anything and everything, basically, that pertains to life. There is no way I can describe in words the encouragement and uplift I feel in my spirit every time I meet with Rich. In fact, whenever my wife, who is back home in Nigeria, whenever we talk over the phone and she senses that something is not quite right with me, she would always go, "I think you should talk to Rich." All through the fall of 2018, I went through what is perhaps the toughest phase of my life. I had to deal with the painful disappointment of being separated from my wife barely 3 weeks after we got married. I had gone home last summer to get married to the love of my life, the girl with whom I shared a seat in the 3rd grade. I didn't ask her out then. It happened many years after. I had been excited for a second year of grad school with my wife, only for her to be denied visa. As if that was not enough, about a month after I returned alone to Columbus, I had to deal with the news and reality of my mother suffering a stroke. I was depressed. I suffered bouts of anxiety attacks. I was coming down under a heavy workload, taking 3 graduate courses and teaching for the first time fully responsible for instructing and grading an undergraduate class of 24 students. Today, I look back and I don't even understand how I made it through that semester. For the first time in my life, I struggled with fighting to keep my mental health in place. I come from a society in which, for many reasons, mental health is not at the top of our list of concerns. And so, for months, I couldn't even name what I was going through as depression. When I finally came to terms with the reality, I decided to seek help. I called OSU Student Counseling Services, and I was told that they were fully occupied to the end of the semester. This gives you a sense of what students go through on this campus. Fully occupied. Especially international students who do not have the support system of their friends and family around them. But glory be to God, where OSU Counseling Services failed me, IFI came through for me. I'm convinced that the only reason something did not snap in my mental space was because Rich was there with me all through the storm. He listened to me. He watched me cry. He spoke words of affirmation and encouragement. He prayed with me, and I know he never stopped praying for me. When I remember the words of Jesus that he will not leave me comfortless, I think about Rich, and I know that he is my God sent. And when I count my Columbus blessings, Rich Mendola is definitely on top of the list. During the winter break of 2017, Rich and I, with some friends, went to the Vision Conference. The theme of the conference was known. And one of the profound messages I took away from that conference is that we all desire to know and to be known. I believe it is basic human instinct to want to know other people and connect with them. And as my experience in New York has taught me, it is equally important for us to feel that other people desire to know us and that they want to connect with us. In the end, we are all searching for the same thing in life, to love and to be loved. In my own journey in the United States, it is through IFI that I have found that one thing, that I have found meaningful friendship, that I have loved people and felt their love in return. Someone who has never traveled thousands of miles away from home may not understand this, but it is tough to be away from everything and everyone you call home. But blessed is that person who finds home in a faraway land. Blessed is that international student who finds IFI. Thank you.